Happy Wednesday, my dudes. I am here today with another video to help get you through the week. And lately I've been thinking of the mental aspect of skateboarding, the different types of mentality that people have when going about learning stuff and just progressing in general. So I figured I would share my top 10 skate hacks. You know, those little mental cheat codes you enter to help you learn and skate and do better. Just keep in mind that not all of these are going to just unlock all of skateboarding for you. You know, this isn't Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. But they might help you learn, they might help you progress. So here are my top 10 skateboarding hacks. Let's get it. First one, kind of obvious, but it's tried and true. Skate often. Again, it sounds cheesy, it sounds obvious, but it just makes sense. The more you do something, the better you're going to be at it. Even if you just do kickflips all the time, you're going to be better at kickflips. That's just kind of the way things work. How I used to skate at like my first year of college, man, I sound like a dinosaur right now. When I was your age, I used to skate for many hours of the day, and no one told us what to do. But anyway, my first year of college, I would set aside about 2 hours when I did go skate, and that was like on an average day. Some days I skated more when I was going out skating with friends, but on just an average day, it was around 2 hours, and that was like 4+ times a week. But basically what I would do is the first hour I would warm up and work on stuff I already knew, and the second hour I would try some newer stuff that I haven't tried before, tricks I was working on, so on and so forth. But that kind of ties into the next one, number 9. That is, I'm not sure if I even said number 10, whatever. We're at number 9. Test your consistency. Now, you wonder how all these people become so good at just doing tricks and doing them first time, every time. Well, they do it a lot. Repetition. What I like to do, especially if I have taken like a week hiatus from skateboarding, my phone just vibrated. You might have gotten that in the audio, whatever. But when I've taken like a week break from skating or longer, because I know I've had to do multiple hiatuses in the past handful of years, the first thing I did was test my consistency. What I would do, I would pick a trick. I would attempt that trick 10 times. And the minimum goal was to get that trick 7 out of 10 times. And that, if you do your math, that's like a C in grading, which, as you know, a C, it's not failing. It's not good, but it's not failing. Your ultimate goal with these consistency tests is to be consistent. Try getting it 7 out of 10 times. If you do, you pass. If you get more than that, pat on the back. Good for you. What I really like to do is if I have gotten all 7, the last 3 tries, I'll try doing it like into a grind or off something if we're doing flip tricks specifically, or onto something, or, you know, I add a variety to it. But if you get less than that, come back to it. One thing you have to understand is practice doesn't always make perfect. Practice makes habits. Perfect practice makes perfect habits. So try a trick, 10 attempts, 7 out of 10, move on to the next trick. You fail it, move on to the next trick, come back to it maybe a half hour or so. Muscle confusion is a real thing. Basically, you do something wrong a number of times to where your brain thinks it's right. And that's probably why I can't do laser flips, even though I've been working on them for 8 years, but what you gonna do? So yes, test your consistency. Set aside, honestly, I should do this soon. Set aside like an entire session, an entire hour to 2 hour skate session of just testing your consistency. I will sometimes set aside an entire week of skating, just testing my consistency, because that's really important. Number 8, kind of obvious again, don't skate on a full stomach. I've done that like 3 times this week alone, and it feels like there's a brick inside of your body, and it just every wrong movement, it just feels like it's uncomfortable. It's not pleasant. It feels like you're gonna puke. Just it's as simple as that. Don't skate on a full stomach. I mean, eat a meal, but don't skate on a full stomach. Even if it's from chugging water, you know, you get waterlogged. Don't do that. Number 7, I'm gonna take a page out of Joe Dirt's book. Don't have no in your heart. I've noticed every time I go to try a trick and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I'm not sure. I'm a little nervous that I'm not gonna make it. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Guess what? I don't make it. So if you go up to a trick and thinking, I don't know I'm going to make this, your brain has just decided you are not going to make that trick. Now, sometimes you might get lucky. That happens, and it's kind of a cool feeling. But if you're trying something new and you're not sure about it and you're kind of like, I don't know, try something you know you're going to get, something you know you're going to be confident on, and then come back to that. And you just kind of have to ignore that thought when it first comes into your head. And that's one thing I like about skateboarding, is that when I am doing just a casual session, I have my head clear. I don't think of anything. I don't think of, I'm not sure. Should I try this? I don't know if I'm going to make it. You got to just clear your head right before you're going to try something. So don't have no in your heart. It sounds cheesy and lame, but you know what? That's just me. I'm a derpy, cheesy-ass man-child. And this is one that I have started doing recently, especially when it kind of helps with the previous tip I just gave. But meditate before you skate. Sounds weird, but let me explain it. If you really think about it, you hear all the time, skateboarding is 90% mental. 90% up here. That is the majority of skateboarding, is mental, muscle memory, confidence, and so on and so forth. So normally, before you skate, what do? Stretch. I mean, not everybody does, but I'm pushing 30. I stretch before I skate. Now, if only 10% of skateboarding is physical, why am I spending so much time stretching the physical parts of my brain? Why am I spending so much time warming up the physical parts of my body? Don't you think you should be stretching and warming up your brain? It helps me. I understand this tip might not be for everybody, but if you are curious, if you want to look into some meditation before you skate, I recommend Headspace. It is mostly a free app. They say it's a free app, but it's only like the first part of it's free. But it just kind of gives you a course and kind of warms you up to do it by yourself, to where you don't need the app. Honestly, it's just, meditation is just good in your overall life. I do recommend it. I need to do it more often. But it really clears your head, and you don't have all of these intrusive thoughts that just kind of mess up your skating. So meditate before you skate. Warm up that mind. Now, this is one that some people might disagree with me on, but hear me out. This is number, I haven't been counting. This is number 5. 5. Skate older gear. As I've said before, I was the poor kid in my group. I had to just scrape up everything I could find for skating. I remember the first year I skated, it was with a Walmart board and a pair of tennis shoes. And I got made fun of so much by my friends because they had the Etnies, the DCs, the Audios, the Black Label boards, the blind boards, like all the cool skateboards. And I had a Walmart board and tennis shoes. But I eventually got actual gear. But guess what? When I actually did skate new gear, I had a very good sense of board control and a very good sense of style. You see, even in my early 20s, I mean, I've been spoiled recently, but in my early 20s, I remember my friends saying, man, I wish I could catch tricks like Paul does. He's so light and delicate when he catches them and puts them down. Guess what? That's because I skated with a cracked board half the time. And if I just sneezed on it wrong, it was going to snap in half. So, and not even that, like the trucks were always broken. I always had a couple pieces of hardware missing. The bearings sounded like there was rocks in them and not ball bearings. I skated a lot of really crappy gear when I was younger, and I think it made me so much better now in the sense of style, if you want to say I have style. I guess it's not really for me to say. And just like board control. Lately, I've been spoiled. I'm at the point in my life where I don't really need to worry about not having backups other than recently, but that's besides the point. But that was part of the goal. That was part of the goal in my life, is to get to a point where I don't have to worry about not being able to skate because I don't have gear. But try to get the most use out of your gear. If you have a bunch of razor tail and all the graphics just scraped off your board, skate it for like 2 more weeks. And just see what it does to your style. You learn that, you really learn how to control the board a little bit better and be delicate with it to make boards go longer in the future. Now, number 4, this one is specifically catered towards learning new tricks, and that is exaggerate on your movements. So I have mentioned this in previous videos, but You basically have to put in twice the effort you think you have to, if that makes sense. What I'm saying is the heel flip trick tip video went up last week, I think. And one of the tips was give a good solid pop. One thing I didn't say that I meant to is if you think you pop enough, pop higher. And the same thing with kickflips. If you think you're flicking hard enough, flick harder. Try doing a double kickflip in order to do a single kickflip. That way you kind of build up the strength and the muscle memory, and it just makes it a little bit easier. Another example is 180 flip tricks. And this goes for just about any 180 flip trick. People normally just say you do a 180 and a kickflip, or a 180 and a heel flip, and you just kind of land on the board right away. Well, that's not how it works. What I found out is you exaggerate on the flick, and you flick where you want the nose to go. So like if you're doing a frontside flip, you start doing a 180 when you're halfway through. Again, you exaggerate on the timing of when you should kickflip. So you don't kickflip till halfway through the 180, and then you flick towards where your tail was, where you want the nose to be, and it should help complete the rotation. On top of that, your feet will be right where they need to be to catch the board. Quick frontside flip trick tip for you. I don't know, I can only do them switch now for some reason. What sense does that make? I skipped one. Anyway, we're just gonna flip it around. Nothing happened. Number three. I'm gonna take a page out of Ray William Johnson's book, and I know what you're thinking, that shitty comedian. And he's not shitty. I like him, goddammit. But he does a series on YouTube called Superhuman, and it's basically a lot of self-help stuff, and it's helped me tremendously. And there's aspects of that I can take out and give to skateboarding and use in skateboarding. It's helped tremendously. And the number one thing I want to take from that is don't compare yourself to others. So you can't really go about skateboarding thinking, oh, this person is better than me. I'm better than that person. For one, you're just going to sound like an asshole making yourself seem better than the kid that's just started skating a week ago. Not very cool. And if you approach it with the mentality of that person is better than me, you just kind of get down on yourself. But you can't really do that. You have to think of it as experience. You have to understand that that different person has lived a different life, has had different opportunities, different experiences, had a completely different upbringing, and therefore probably a completely different mentality towards skateboarding. So comparing yourself to somebody that's completely different is absolutely useless. I would say think of it as that person has more experience than me. And guess what? Go skate with that person. Skating with somebody that's better than you will help you improve tremendously. In fact, I want to say mid to early 20s, again, I skated with a gentleman named Adrian Hammerly. And Adrian, if you're watching, you're awesome. Hope you're doing well. I don't really see him much anymore, but basically half the tricks I do now is because he inspired me to do them. But yes, you need to stop comparing yourself to others, and social media is terrible with this because all social media is an illusion. So I have filmed many tricks to post on Instagram. And in fact, when 2020 started in quarantine, I tried doing a trick just about every day. But you want to know what I didn't do? I didn't post the 300 plus tries some of those tricks took. I just posted a couple of tries to show the learning process and the one I made, or maybe the couple I made. See, social media is very easy to create the illusion that you are better than what you actually are. I try not doing that, which I'm not sure if it helps me or not, but it all goes back to don't compare yourself to others on social media, and don't be comparing yourself to others at the skate park. Remember, you are different people for a reason, and you need to embrace that. I will say the only time that it might be somewhat acceptable is if, like, okay, this person is on flow, and I want to be on flow. I can do a similar range of tricks. You also have to consider that two people can have a completely different bag of tricks, but be at the same level of difficulty or same level of experience, if that makes any sense. So for example, I have friends that can fakey bigger flip. I can't do that, but I can occasionally get a switch laser. They cannot. That doesn't mean they are better than me or I am better than them. It just means we have different experiences, different skill sets. So again, comparing yourself to somebody in skateboarding, completely useless. Try not doing it. I know, easier said than done, but try not doing it. Okay, number 2, kind of cheesy, and it probably is not going to make a lot of sense like this entire video, but let your personality do the skating for you. Now, what I mean by that, I feel the most comfortable and feel like I'm doing the best on my board is when I feel the most comfortable in my own skin, inside my own head. There have been times recently, within the past handful of years, that I couldn't stand the person in my own head. But I got through that with my own means. That's a completely separate video. But when you're watching some of my edits and some of my Instagrams, yes, go look at my Instagrams. If you're looking at some of my Instagram clips, sometimes I'll give little yelps and shrieks and say little one-shot jokes, and there's really no one around other than my daughter, but I just try to make myself chuckle. And I feel like those days I have the most progression. So just seriously, be yourself on your skateboard. It's as simple as that. And your personality shines through. You just have more fun. And when you have more fun, you just kind of do better. And when you do better, you kind of have more fun. So it's just a nice little complete circle. Not only that, your personality kind of comes out in your skating too, and people can see that. And that's the kind of stuff that companies are interested in, if you want to make a career out of it. I'm just saying. I actually don't know. I'm not sponsored. I don't know. All right, lastly, be inspired and have fun. Incredibly cheesy, but just recently, I was watching a YouTube video. I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was a Dan Corrigan video. Shout out to Dan Corrigan. He's awesome. In fact, if you really want to, go to Dan Corrigan's channel, leave a comment on one of his videos, and tell him I sent you there. But you really don't have to. It's kind of lame. But anyway, I watched one of his videos, and something just kind of clicked. I'm like, I need to go skate right now. This is making me want to go skate, which I haven't felt that in years. This uncontrollable urge of I need to skate now. So I did. I mean, I didn't have a lot of time, but I went down there. I went down to my basement and I skated for 20 minutes, and I did surprisingly well. Switch hard flip second try, and I felt good. I'm like, okay. I feel like I progressed in skating great here, because for one, the confidence. You're like, oh, the next time you go skate, you're thinking, oh, okay, I got that switch hard flip second try. I know I can do it again within maybe even first try now. So yes, if you're going to do something you love doing, even if it's not skateboarding, and you are just truly inspired to do it just out of the love of doing it, it kind of hits differently. And you just start to do better and you progress. And lastly, if you guys made it this far into the video, you get a bonus tip. This is point 5, number 11, whatever you want to look at it. Again, really cheesy, but don't give up. There's been many, many times where I just wanted to give up on skating and just not do it anymore. And if I would have given up many tries ago, many years ago, like I thought I was going to, I would have never realized that one day I'll be able to do switch hard flips or laser flips on occasion, or any of these tricks that I do now. And I promise you, every single professional skater, every single one, has probably went through just about all of these in their own way. So whenever you do have a bad stretch of skating, or you're in a plateau where you're just not really progressing, maybe look at some of these and see if they help you out. Just no matter what you do, if you really enjoy skateboarding, don't give up on it. Because one day, you're going to look back and be like, man, I'm glad I didn't give up on it. I actually found something on the Facebooks recently that said, don't forget that when you started something, you were so desperate to be where you're at right now. So if you give up, you're just going to be back at square one again. It was something along those lines, but it truly made sense. If I gave up on skating for a few years and came back to it, I'm just going to be so desperate again to be at the skill level I am now. But anyway, I've rambled on long enough. I hope some of these helped you. If you have your own little skate hacks, go ahead and leave them down below. I might do a second video of this. I have a couple more that I'm thinking of. But these are the big ones. These ones help me the most. So I hope they helped you too. Let me know if they do. Leave a like and a comment with what you like to see in the future, and if with your own skate hacks. I'm curious what you guys got. Let's share. Let's have a little brainstorming in the fucking lights. Let's share. Let's have a little brainstorming session. And that's it. Subscribe to see more, especially if this helps you. If this helps you, go ahead and subscribe, and it'll make me happy. It will. And I will see you guys next Wednesday with another video. So, see you later.